And they're off for the Qipco Champion Stakes over the mile and a quarter. Anmaat is well away in the blue and white jacket. So to see the far Royal Rhyme up the inside in yellow. Wider out Continuous is prominent. Los Angeles is one from the right, and on the extreme right on the outside is King's Gambit. As they race through the first furlong, Economics is in amongst them just to the inside of Los Angeles. Persica, the back marker. Last but one is Nashwa and Irazine on the inside in the pink colours. And Continuous now getting across in the hands of Christophe Soumillon to lead the way, and followed by stable companion Los Angeles. Clear tactics here from Ballydoyle. It's Continuous from Los Angeles. Royal Rhyme is third on the inside. King's Gambit is out wider from Anmaat. Then Economics. Back on the inside in the green jacket is Calandagan. They are followed by Persica, and then See the Fire, Nashwa and Irazine in the pink colours at the back of the field. They're racing on towards the 5 furlong marker and the halfway stage in this Qipco Champion Stakes. Continuous by a neck to Los Angeles in second. King's Gambit is third, 3 horses wide, followed by Royal Rhyme. Then behind these is Anmaat. Close up is Economics. Persica towards the outside. And then back towards the centre is See the Fire, just behind Anmaat. Calandagan forced to go right round the inside from stall 1. So too on the inside is Irazine. Nashwa and Persica at the back of the field. Continuous leads. Los Angeles is stoked along in second. King's Gambit is third. Then Royal Rhyme, followed by Anmaat. Economics is now being asked a question by Tom Marquand with the big white blaze. Calandagan's going to need a lot of luck on the inside. There's nowhere to go. And it's Continuous. Calandagan might get up the rail. Royal Rhyme is chasing. Here comes Economics and Persica down the wide outside, 4 in a line. Calandagan still trying to get a run. He might be good enough if he gets one. They race up towards the line. Royal Rhyme, Calandagan getting through far side. Economics, Anmaat is staying on. So too, See the Fire, Calandagan and Anmaat as they race to the line. And Anmaat is getting up for Shadwell to win the Qipco Champion. From Calandagan, who had an unlucky run. Irazine staying on really well from Royal Rhyme, See the Fire and Economics.
And you could hear a pin drop at Ascot on British Champions Day. Bubbles burst as Anmaat returns gloriously to form for Owen, Burrows, Jim Crowley and Shadwell. Sensationally beats Calandagan, who had to burrow his way through and was interrupted, but he got there to win. And then he was run down, amazingly, by Anmaat. You could hear the shock in commentator Simon Holt's voice. It was echoed around Ascot. Royal Rhyme has run a fine race on ground that he enjoyed. Nothing in the finish from Economics today. Calandagan, that run will be analysed and assessed. But he did burrow and weave, and he got there, only for Anmaat to claim him.
Yeah, he's unlucky, the runner-up, because without having that trouble passage, he's going to put distance between himself and the rest at an earlier point of the race, and I think would have gone to
but look at
an
the winner.
unassailable lead.
The winner would have been equally unlucky.
He is caught in a pocket as well. I don't think his momentum was necessarily stopped in quite the same way, but yeah,
I'm not so sure, Chris. I'm not so sure. You've got to watch the winner again.
He wasn't stopped. Well, our pictures are gone. he wasn't stopped for as long, I don't think. But you're right. The runner-up has got there, and then he's being claimed. And this is a massive success for Owen Burrows, who has brought this horse back. He's had his issues, hasn't he, along the way? But it's a second Group 1 that he's managed to claim, and maybe he would have won anyway. But sort of just think, watching it through, that Calandagan, when his most potent weapon was about to be used, he was blocked.
I'm pretty sure that this is Economics' track, this inner track at Ascot. He was a bit lit up to post. Look at him in the early stages, big white face. Almost run to me like it's a bridge too far this season, that he might have just half gone over the top.
Yeah, maybe. It is much more testing ground than he's really proven on as well. It could be a few things, and he gets shuffled back a couple of places here so that he's not too wide. He's following the eventual winner through at this point. He gets a clearer crack at the race, but he's also had a much wider trip through it, hasn't he? Persica briefly threatened, didn't he? He came there with
they all had a
challenge down the outside.
It was wacky races.
It was, and it did just get very, very messy up the inside. And in the end, it's the two that were stopped in their runs that have come to the fore.
Anmaat sitting there in round 5th here to the outside of Royal Rhyme, and you called it early. Potential lack of pace. Yeah, Ballydoyle just don't allow that to happen. Get on with it, Continuous. and sit to his girth shotgun Ryan Moore on Los Angeles. In the end, neither was quick enough or good enough for a race like this.
No, they're both horses that are ultimately better over longer distances, but they tried to go out to the front and wind up the gallop, and Continuous does it more smoothly than Los Angeles, who was under a little bit of pressure here. Big run from Royal Rhyme, who was in the perfect sort of stalking spot to have a shot at the race, but he's the one that, when it starts getting a bit tight here, really gets in the way of Calandagan. But as you said, the winner Anmaat is also stopped. I mean, he's shuffled right back there, isn't he, when he's still travelling.
Now we're hearing reports that Economics may well have broken a blood vessel again, as he did after the Dante Stakes when he won very impressively, and he just gives way inside that last half furlong, and Jim Crowley does incredibly well to get Anmaat out of there and up on the line. First Shadwell-owned winner of the Champion Stakes since it was run at Newmarket 2004, Hafford, and prior to that Naef. And there is Economics with Maureen Haggis out on the track, just wiping the blood from his nostril. And this is clearly an issue with this horse, and it is very difficult once they've done it not once but twice to master and to stay on top of. But they got him back from the Dante to win so impressively in the
been managed absolutely fine.
He's been managed brilliantly through the season, but it is a problem once it's happened, as you know, Chris, having had so many horses, that is more likely than not to recur. Yeah,
once it's happened, once, there's always a danger. You can almost, one time there could just be a little bit of something on them, but as you say, it is a concern, and maybe these conditions have just placed a little bit too much pressure on him in the end, and I think he will be better back onto a sounder surface himself, and I don't think he's run a bad race in defeat at all, and he came there with a challenge, but you never quite felt that he was going to win the race.
Yeah, that's a